Alright everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil. In this video, I want to talk about Datacrons, the good, the bad, the ugly, give you some general advice on them, and hopefully give you the best path forward in obtaining them and molding them to fit what you have in your roster. Before we go any further, guys, I just want to say thank you so much to all my subscribers. This channel has been going pretty rapidly over the past few weeks. I just want to continue to say thank you for all the love and support. For those of you who haven't hit that subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment, and yeah, let's get into it here. So I'll start off with the ugly. We'll start on a bad note. Datacrons have definitely changed this game. They have made some characters ridiculously overpowered. Like right now, this Datacron with Lord Vader is just unstoppable. He just is so good. There are so few ways to counter this team with Lord Vader where he can just continually spam his AoE because he's reducing his cooldowns every time he inflicts a debuff. Also, though, the flip side of this is that it has made Darth Vader a Galactic Legend killer because he's reducing his cooldowns when he inflicts debuffs. And for, like I have a video showing of how I've, killed a Rey, and I've done it multiple times now where I've defeated Rey just with Darth Vader, nuking the entire team. It's amazing. But the ugly part of this as well is that these disappear. You see that they're active, like this top one is disappearing here in like 6 days as of the time of recording here, where the next set kind of disappears on November 2nd, and then finally the last set on December 26th. So they are a temporary boost. So one of the biggest things here is that if you go all in on certain Datacrons, you're spending resources, they don't stay in your roster for forever. So if you're someone like myself where you're not spending money on this game, you're not wailing on this or that, Datacrons you need to be careful with, because if you invest too much in the now, you could be, dead in the water in 3 months or 4 months when that Datacron disappears. So just something to keep in mind, right, with these Datacrons. Make sure that you're keeping perspective of how long they're going to be a part of your roster. So we'll get into parts that are good about the Datacrons. They are, in some ways, they can be fun. I don't know. Maybe I'm stretching that. If you know how to use them, here's a way to say it. The good of them, if you know how to utilize them, you will have an edge on every opponent that doesn't know how to utilize Datacrons. So I'm going to show you, I'll just pop into my Grand Arena real quick. I'm going to show you guys why Datacrons make such a huge difference. So my opponent, he did 2 battles and then stopped. And the first battle that he lost was this one here, where I have this Datacron. What's this one do? Okay, so when a light side critically hits enemies more than 4 times during their turn, they gain 5% critical damage stacking. Well, for somebody like Rebel Officer Leia Organa, who's dealing damage like 10 times, with her one ability, if she crits more than 4 times, boom, we're golden. So I've loaded her up with crit chance, and so she's gaining stacking critical damage. Then this Starkiller team. So I really want to show this Starkiller team. This team has been amazing for me in GAC. Last round, it held against GLs, including Supreme Leader Kylo Ren and Jedi Master Luke. So this team is amazing because of this Datacron here, where Empire allies inflict debuff, they reduce their cooldowns by 1. Well, Mara Jade can just get in a loop, where as soon as she takes a turn, she will just continually loop an ability, inflict debuffs, reduce cooldowns, and it's almost impossible to stop her. This is a really, really good Datacron. Obviously one that, has been completely game-changing. It's very similar to my Darth Vader one, just I have another level on that Datacron. So, Datacrons can help you completely change this, Grand Arena landscape, where obviously my opponent here just couldn't beat that team, and so he had to quit. So that's the good, right? There's not a lot of good, I'll say. I really think that they've definitely hampered the growth of the game, and a lot of people have quit over them or have gone casual because they just do not like Datacrons. But if you're like me, you're competitive, you want to win in GAC and Territory Wars, they become a necessary evil, and so you need to know how to utilize them. So we'll click into this first Datacron here, level 3. So it says that, light side allies start the battle 25% turn meter. You can go in here and it'll tell you all the different things that will happen, right? That depending on the alignment, right, it'll tell you what the bonuses are, right? So this one was only available for light side units, and it tells you what those bonuses were. And then what will happen is you'll reach level 6, which will tell you whether or not it's going to impact what faction. So in this case, it was Jedi or Rebels, and it'll list out all the different bonuses you get there. And then finally, characters. And so here there was 6 different characters this could impact. And what it came down to was, or maybe was it 6 or 7? Maybe 7 characters here. So, and it would tell you what each of the different Datacrons, right? There were 2 chances for every single character of the different impacts they could have. So, with each of these characters, right, they're going to gain something depending on what that Datacron is. So we'll now pull up this Datacron because I'm going to go to a larger level Datacron to show you. So with Datacrons, the level 3 requires you to at least have your entire squad at relic 3 or higher. And I'll show you guys examples later in squads, right? So you need to be level 3 or higher. Then as soon as you get to level 4 and all the way up to level 8, you need to have your entire squad, right? The entire team needs to be at minimum relic 5. And then for the final level, whatever character it's impacting, right? So in this example, it was Jedi Master Luke. They need to be relic 7. You'll see that over there on the right-hand side. So Datacrons have also changed the way you need to be utilizing your roster, that they're only available for characters who are relicked. So let me show you guys in Squad Arena here. Just going to pick a random opponent. So you see here I have this Datacron, right, and it's impacting the team. So now I'm going to go to like my Empire here, right? And I'm going to select Darth Vader, Piet, Emperor Palpatine, Thrawn, and Mara Jade, just picking characters. So you'll see here that I have this Datacron for Darth Vader. I can equip it, and it's showing me level 9, right? All of these characters are relic 5 or higher, so I am good to fully utilize this Datacron. Now let's say I take out Emperor Palpatine, or let's say I take out Emperor Palpatine and I throw in my Royal Guard. Now you see that this Datacron has switched from a level 9 to a level 3, and that it's grayed out level 6 and 9 because my Royal Guard is only relic 3. So in this example, I will only get this first benefit, right? I won't get any other benefits from the Datacron. So if I want the full benefit of this, I could just take Royal Guard out and undersize because I need it, right? Now the other part of this here is that they need to be relics, right? So with Death Trooper in my squad now, I get an error message saying all squad members must be at least relic 3. So how does this change the way you need to be, gearing your roster, equipping relics, right? So if I go in here real quick, just sort by power, just to show you. What I really have been doing is just taking most of the characters I'm using on a regular basis to relic 5. It's not a fun process, but the relic 5 and relic 3 are kind of your stopping points right now. That's kind of the points that if you want to be using Datacrons and getting the most out of them, obviously taking characters to relic 5 is the way to go, but relic 3 at least gets you that initial step into Datacrons. And if I'm giving you advice as a free-to-play, relic 3 is the way to go because obviously a relic 5 would be better, right? You get more stats, but unless that Datacron is impacting a specific faction, like here it's only Empire or Smugglers. So if you don't really have either of these factions built up or you don't have really good teams here, it's not worth having the relic 5 characters for the purpose of a Datacron. So if you have certain teams that you're going to use a lot that'll eventually get a Datacron, it's probably a good idea to get them to relic 5. Like I'm going to use Visas Mar here as an example. In 3v3, I showed you guys that I'm using Emperor Palpatine, Mara Jade, and Starkiller as a team with the Empire level 6 Datacron. When I get to 5s, I'm going to need to get Visas Mar up to relic 5, so that way I continue to utilize that Datacron and get the most out of it. But anyway, guys, that's just my thoughts, some general advice for you. Hopefully this helps you understand Datacrons, know how to use them, know how to take your roster and mold it to get the most out of them, and maybe give you a little bit of incentive that, yes, like they're not the most fun thing, right? I definitely don't like them, But as I showed you in this round, and you could go back through my Grand Arena history, they do make a difference, and they get me wins in Grand Arena that I otherwise would not get. So that's the video, guys. If you are still watching right now, go ahead and leave a comment that says the Empire was right, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.